Everything in lifestyle medicine is trying to get away from animal protein, more to plant-based protein, and more to whole foods, not processed foods. I know you're all about that. So, and how do you incorporate that into your diet? Do you recommend people move away from animal protein? What are your thoughts?
So I think, it's interesting because if you look at myself and my sister, and I'll just use, I do still eat poultry and seafood. I've never had pork ever in my life, and I haven't had beef since 2000, so 20 years ago. My sister's vegan, and she feels much better as a vegan than she felt as a vegetarian, as she felt as more of a pescatarian. And, I think it's about finding what works for people. I do agree that, having, those like meatless Mondays or whatever it might be, are really great things. It's great for our environment as we look at climate change, which is real, you guys. It's real. If you don't, I don't know there's some science people that aren't really listening to science, but it is a real thing. So it's better for our environment. It's definitely better for our bodies. But some people feel not so great in a vegan style diet or a vegetarian style diet. And so it goes back to listening to your individual body. I had a 71-year-old patient that I saw today who's adorable. We had a lot of political discourse today. But in addition to that, for her, she feels better when she is eating more beef and more like fungi, i.e. mushrooms and things of this sort. And I have to let her listen to her body. Her weights responded very nicely. But I have to listen to what does she say? What do her labs look like? Her labs look great. So, I think it becomes individualized. I think overall, definitely the key thing I definitely always support is the less processed, the better. So that we've talked about. And so I completely agree with that. And I think, like I said, for many people going, the more plant-based you can be, overall, the better. But that some people feel really not so great, and, if they go kind of all the way to that end of the spectrum. So it just depends. And what I do when have my dietitians working with patients is to work where they are. Some of my dietitians are vegan, and so, can really kind of guide you in that direction. Some aren't. And so, but they can guide you in whatever direction. And so I have it tailored, like I said, to fit the patient, and whatever not only their preferences are in terms of whether it's, pescatarian versus vegetarian versus vegan, for example, but also like the cultural appropriateness. Like, are they Indian like yourself, and do they prefer, more lentils and different things of that sort, eggplant, right? That's what, a lot of the Indian diet, and making sure that it's tailored to fit that.